Bitcoin Brown here. We're talking about what's the difference between a drill and an impact driver. So we have a DeWalt XR and we have a Cobalt 24 volt XR. All right. This has a 3 amp battery on it. You can put a 2 amp. This is fairly heavy. They're about the same weight. I would say the DeWalt and the Milwaukee are built sturdier than a Cobalt, but for the money, Cobalt's pretty good. This one, so what's the difference between a drill and an impact driver? Drill, if you're drilling through something, it's constant speed. If you try to use this for fasteners, like you're trying to put in lag bolts or screws, you're trying to put a cabinet together, or you're trying to build a deck, when you use this thing is constantly, since it only goes one speed, it has variable speed by the trigger, which is good. This thing is constantly torquing your elbow. When I had to put some stuff together, all I had right at that moment was this drill. I was on my back working on this thing, and believe me, it was wearing my arm and shoulder out. So a drill is for really, like I said, it's just to drill through holes, pilot holes. You can use it to fasten things with, but it has a drawback because it only goes one way or the other. It goes forward or reverse. You can turn it down. All right, but it's still going to torque your arm. Enter the game of the impact driver. Impact drivers they don't work like a drill. A drill is a continuously spinning motor. This one has a spring and kind of a metal piece in it that kind of clunks, if you will. And what it is storing energy. It stores energy in the spring. It stores energy in kind of like a chuck piece that hammers down. It hammers down. So it's constantly impacting. It's not a hammer drill. That's a different video. But constantly impacts. So this is what you want to buy if you're doing, say you're going to build a deck, or you're going to put cabinetry together, or you're going to do a lot of work where you have to screw, lag bolts, fixtures, self-tappers, anything like that in. You want to do this, primarily because it's more efficient. It will go in a lot faster. Even though this thing's more powerful, you can hear it. It doesn't work as efficiently as an impact driver. Okay, an impact driver works more efficiently when you're putting screws, lag bolts, decks, you're putting a deck together, you're putting furniture together, whatever. You want to use an impact driver. You use this, say you have to drill a hole through masonry, like you get a long extender drill bit, you got to drill through something, this is when you use this. This DeWalt has a 3 amp battery hour on it. Good tool, lasts you a long time, good tool. So by accident, I had to get a hold of an impact driver because circumstances beyond my control, I didn't have access to one of my impact drivers. So I went in Lowe's and got this. Now this is made for Lowe's. Has a 5-year, 3-year warranty. 5-year for the drill, 3-year for the battery. As far as I know, you shouldn't have to buy the extended warranty. If you go into Lowe's and you buy a DeWalt, you probably want, or they don't sell Milwaukee, but if you buy a DeWalt or Craftsman or any of their other lines, you probably want to buy a warranty, because if you walk back into Lowe's with your receipt, first thing out of Lowe's mouth is, did you have the extended warranty through us? And if you say no, they're going to say, take it back to the manufacturer. So you're going to be out of commission. In today's day and age, it could be 6 weeks, it could be 6 months till you get your tool back, and that could impact you if you depend on it. So if you're going to buy a DeWalt, and this is true if you're buying a Milwaukee at Rural King, you better get the extended warranty, because if it goes out on you, you can't just walk in and exchange it. Now, as far as I know, since this is a store brand, now Lowe's doesn't actually make this, they contract this out, and it's made with American, Taiwanese, and Chinese parts. You should, theoretically, since it's their store-bought brand, you should be able to exchange it. It has a 5-year warranty on the drill, on the impact, 3-year on the battery, 24 volt. Here's the key difference here, is this is 20 volt, this is 24 volt. Milwaukee has their 18 volt fuel. Strangely enough, some guys did some stress tests with this Cobalt, this brand, against Milwaukee, and this thing edged out the Milwaukee. Now, I would say that the Milwaukee will probably last you a lot longer than a Cobalt. There's no question in my head. But If you don't need that tool to last 5 to 6, 7 years, you're going to use it occasionally. You could save yourself a lot of money going down the Cobalt, and you should not, and I got to test this theory, you should not have to have an extended warranty on this like you will on other like non-Lowe's products. So if your plan is, I'm going to walk into Lowe's and I want it returned, you need an extended warranty by the DeWalt. You probably don't need it on this because this is a Cobalt brand. However, a lot of times these guys are trained when they see you don't have extended warranty, they just kind of blow you off. So you might have to get the store manager and say, hey, this is a Cobalt, this has a 5-year warranty, 3-year warranty, and you got to keep your receipt. You got to keep your receipt. I'd keep the original box too, because a lot of times when you have to return these units, they want the entire kit back. So if you buy a multi-kit and one of them goes bad, they'll make you return the entire kit, just so you know. So that's a disadvantage there if you depend on the manufacturer warranty. So it's something you got to be aware of with all these tools. A lot of times I just buy extended warranties. I hate it like you do, but you have to. But again, if you're using this tool like on a deck, this tool, it's a lot. You hear the sound difference. That's loud. That's not too bad. And this, believe it or not, this is more efficient. These impact drivers are more efficient for driving things into a deck. A bunch of guys did, like I said, a shootout with the Cobalt in Milwaukee, and this thing edged it out. Again, I think the Milwaukee has more long-term longevity in a heavy use environment. But again, you're going to pay 2 to 3, maybe 4 times more for a Milwaukee impact driver than you will for a Cobalt. So you decide what you want to do there. Plus, this is 24 volt. It's just simple. It's simple numbers. 24 volt battery is going to give you more power than a 20 volt or a 12 volt, right? Anyway, so the question comes down to, if you only have money to buy one, should I buy a drill or should I buy an impact driver? What should I buy? I would say if you only have money for one, you would go with an impact driver. It's probably going to be more useful to you. This is a 1/4-inch impact driver. If you can get up to the 1/2-inch impact driver, sometimes you can even use those to take lug nuts off cars. And of course, there are wrenches. Cobalt and DeWalt both have their wrench series you use for auto mechanics every day. But in a pinch, a 1/2-inch, this is 1/4-inch. You can tell by the chuck there, it's 1/4-inch. This is what I use because doing IT stuff, drilling stuff up, mounting stuff, 1/4-inch is what I want. I actually want a smaller one too because you get into tight places. Basically, to load it, you're going to pull that forward, put it in, let her go. She's ready to go. You can tell, these are hex skinny, and that's usually tells you that's for an impact driver. So make sure you buy the right stuff for the right device. You don't want to try to put a drill bit that's not impact set for this because it's not going to work right. So you want to make sure when you buy your bits, they're for impact drivers or for drills. Now you can get modifications that turn these into impact drivers, but it's like an extended unit thing, it's really heavy, but you can do that. It's not a whole lot of money to buy an extender to turn this drill into a impact driver. But again, if you say I only have $120 to spend and I need a tool, I would spend $120 on this Cobalt with the warranty through Lowe's, and then for the average person, this is going to hold up. Now if you're in a heavy-duty, dirty contracting environment, I don't know if it will. Because it has to have a lot of holes, and Milwaukee probably would hold up better. But I've seen Milwaukee's burn out too in environments. Anyway, someone asked about it. What's the difference? That's a long video on that. But if your money's tight, just go with an impact driver because generally speaking, you're going to use this more than anything else to put cabinet scalers, decking. You might even have a 1/2-inch you can use for automotive. It's Bick Going Brown. Hope this was helpful. Take care.